reflection in my eye, and it's true, so true.
Hi everyone, this is Amy with KETOLISCIOUS Life. Welcome back to my kitchen, and today I'm going to be making my Philly Chesesteak Chaffle Casserole. I've been having this stew around in my mind for quite some time, and I just really want to throw this together and see how it comes out. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to start out. I have a plastic bag here that I have folded over to sort of sit up while I pour in my ingredients. Follow along, and then I'll put all the information down in the recipe in the description box as well. So for my marinade, here's the ingredients that I'm going to be using. Olive oil. I have some liquid smoke. I have a little bit of Hughes sugar-free barbecue sauce left over, about maybe a quarter of a cup I'm going to be using. A little bit of sugar-free ketchup or reduced sugar ketchup, and a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, if I said that correctly. We're going to also add a little bit of chopped garlic as well, and some apple cider vinegar to help break down that meat and let all those flavors soak in. So let's get started on making this marinade. I'm going to put about a quarter of a cup of olive oil in. Do about half of that in apple cider vinegar. And we're going to go ahead and pour in the rest of our sugar-free barbecue sauce. There's not a whole lot, but I figured I might as well use it up. I'm going to squeeze in about a quarter of a cup of the reduced sugar ketchup. Not quite a whole quarter, just kind of giving an eyeball estimate there. I'm going to be doing 1 teaspoon of the liquid smoke. It's pretty strong, so you don't want to put too much to have it overpower, you know, your whole flavor, your whole dish. I'm gonna do, I think there's about 2 tablespoons worth of the Worcestershire in here. What's left, I'm getting low, but I wanted to do about 2 tablespoons, so that looks pretty good. About a tablespoon of some chopped garlic. All right, so there is our marinade. Now you can add more, you know, more or less, depending how much meat you're going to be doing. So this looks like it's going to be really tasty. Okay, I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to go get my meat, and we're going to get that prepped. So what I have here is carne asada. It's pre-sliced, and we just got this in our grocery store at Winco Foods. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all of this out of the container, and I am going to chop it up into smaller bite-sized pieces. As I cut this, I'm going to go ahead and drop the pieces into my marinade. Cut this all up. I don't feel like it could be quite enough, so I'm going to go ahead and do the rest. So here we go. The meat is 2.27 pounds total, so that's how much I'm using for this whole recipe. However, I may not use all of it in my chaffle casserole, so whatever I have left over will just be used to make Philly Chesesteak Chaffle sandwich. I'm going to stick this in the refrigerator. We're going to let this marinate in the refrigerator for about 45 minutes, and then we'll be ready to get it going. I'm going to be cooking it up in cast irons. Okay, next I'm going to chop up some mushrooms, and these have been, I've washed these and given them a little bit of a scrubbing, but I'm just going to go ahead and chop these up, and these will be ready to go. All right, I have about, I'd say approximately 2 cups of chopped mushrooms here, and I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to chop up an onion as well, and I'm just going to kind of do some long slices. Approximately 1.5 cups, close to 2 cups, but not quite. So yeah, this is how I want it to look. I kind of want a little bit bigger slices of onions. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the onions and the chopped mushroom. You can also do green peppers, but green peppers give me heartburn, so I decided to just skip on those. I'm going to heat up the cast iron with some olive oil, and we're going to get this going and get it nice and golden brown. So I'm just going to drizzle a little olive oil here. Our onions. Mushrooms. Talk about amazing aroma in your kitchen already. This will do it. So I'm going to get these getting cooked down with a little bit of olive oil, and you could add some salt and pepper if you want, and then I'll show you how these progress in just a little bit. Alright, so our mushrooms and onions are nicely sauteed. The onions are becoming transparent and they look done to me. So I'm going to go ahead, remove these from this skillet, and then we're going to add in our meat. And we're going to cook our meat, and then we're going to combine all of this together, and we're going to be making our chaffles coming up very soon. I'm going to add a little more olive oil to the pan. And then we're going to get our meat going. And go ahead and pour all of our meat in. Our yummy, delicious marinated meat. It smells amazing. Go ahead and get this cooking. It's got the garlic. It's got just all these yummy flavors in here. Now I always like to salt and pepper my meat while it's cooking, so I'm going to be adding in some pepper. And of course a little bit of pink Himalayan salt. Alright, so we're going to let this cook, and as soon as this is all done, completely cooked through, then we will move on to the next step. Our meat is pretty much all cooked through, and as you can see, we have a nice sauce here to work with, and pardon me for the okay. And so what I'm going to do is sprinkle in about a teaspoon of xanthan gum, and we're going to thicken this up. So I'm just going to sprinkle. This is a 1/4 of a teaspoon. I'm going to sprinkle in one more, so a total of a 1/2 of a teaspoon, and this should thicken it up. That looks pretty good, actually, not quite the whole thing. Let's see how that works out. Let's get this stirred in and let it start to thicken. If you're new to keto cooking, let me just add that xanthan gum is a must-have in a keto kitchen, because you can thicken your sauces, you can thicken gravies with just that one ingredient. You can thicken smoothies. There's so much you can do, you know. Even desserts, you can use it as a thickener. So definitely get yourself some xanthan gum and have that in your keto kitchen. I have a link for it down in my description box if you would like to order it, maybe through Amazon. All right, so now I'm gonna add back in, here's all my delicious mushrooms and onions. So I'm gonna pour off this watery stuff because I don't want that to go in there. Since we just thickened it, we don't need any more liquid in there. So I'm just gonna add this back in, and we're gonna go ahead and turn our heat up to medium, and we're just gonna stir this all in and get all of this combined. And then this is our base mixture for our chaffle casserole. And the other thing I'm going to do, because I probably will have a little left over, I'm going to go ahead and make chaffle sandwiches as well, just for myself today for lunch. So the casserole will be for dinner. And another thought I had is this could be an amazing meal prep. So you could make your chaffles ahead of time and have your chaffle mix, your Philly cheesesteak mixture ready to go. You could have a Philly cheesesteak chaffle sandwich every day of the week if you wanted to. So yeah, just a lot of different options and ideas in kind of making a meal that will serve a larger family. So now traditionally, I think what you do, and I'm not like from Philly or anything like that, but traditionally you lay on your provolone cheese slices and let that all melt in, and then you'd serve a big scoop of that up right onto a really beautiful piece of bread. And that's what we will do if we make sandwiches with this. But we're gonna go ahead and get our chaffles going to make our casserole. So let's go over there and get that going. All right, so for our chaffles, I'm using my bigger, this is called a Calphalon. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Calphalon round waffle maker. Now we got lucky and found this in Goodwill. This is a pretty expensive one, and let me tell you, this is a beast. It is extremely nice quality. It cooks the chaffles super evenly, and the non-stick coating on here, you can tell, is really high quality. So this is an expensive one, and it's pretty heavy, but it's definitely worth it. I've noticed it's definitely worth it. It has an adjustment for power here. All right, so we're gonna get that heated up, and I wanna make my white bread chaffle in a higher volume. So I'm gonna be like multiplying the recipe for this so that we can make quite a bit. Here's our little casserole dish. It's so pretty. I bought this at Ross. The brand is kind of rubbed off here. I don't even remember. Gather Home, I think is what it says. But it's such a pretty little casserole dish. I'm gonna be using that to layer our Philly Chesesteak Casserole in with our chaffles. All right, let's get going. We are ready to get started making our chaffles, and I'm gonna insert a little clip here about increasing the amount of servings for a given recipe. So check this out. There. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys what I did with my chaffle recipe. So I looked for a recipe converter or Resizer, and I came across this one. It's webstaurantstore.com. Up here's the address, but basically you type in your original recipe, which I typed in my original white bread chaffle recipe, and then you click resize. You tell it how much it originally serves and then how much you want it to serve, and then you just click resize, and then bam, it gives you, here's the original, and then right up here is the new resized with all the new quantities to quadruple, whatever, however many servings you want. It's such a cool app, or it's just a website. So check it out if you ever need to do this with a recipe, even half it, double it, quadruple it, whatever you need to do, use this. It's really cool. All right, so isn't that cool? So what I did is I went ahead and just took a picture of the recipe that I converted over into 5 servings, and I'm gonna go ahead and go off of this. Now I might need more than this, but I don't think so. And I don't know if you guys remember back at Thanksgiving time, I made a chaffle stuffing casserole, which was absolutely amazing, so delicious. Cannot wait to make it again. And this is gonna be kind of like that. So let's get started with these chaffles. All right, so we're gonna do 1 tablespoon plus 2 teaspoons of mayonnaise. All right, there's our 7 ounces. So it called for 7 plus 1 tablespoon. So we'll do that 1 tablespoon. All right, here's our cream cheese. I'll be adding half a teaspoon of baking powder because I found that you just don't need a lot of baking powder for chaffles. And I think some of my original recipes, I went a little overboard with the baking powder. So reducing that down. Okay. We're gonna add just a tiny pinch, maybe like a half a teaspoon of monk fruit sweetener. About a half a teaspoon should be plenty. Now we're gonna add 5 ounces of almond flour, and on my measuring cup again, we will do ounces here, 5 right there, so pretty easy enough. And I'm not gonna be 100% exact, I just wanna get it in the ballpark. Add 2½ teaspoons of psyllium husk. 1, 2½ And there we go. We got a nice converted to a much bigger size chaffle recipe. I love that. And once we've got our chaffles made, we're going to layer our casserole. I'm so excited. A lot of casseroles are lacking, especially in the keto world, are the pasta, the noodles, the bread, you know, that type of thing. So I feel like with the chaffles, we have a lot more options, you know, so much more possibilities have opened up to give us, you know, just different options for our meals. And I'm so excited about that. So I'm gonna take a peek, and there we go. We got our first chaffle. It looks like that's pretty much done. Can you hear that? Kind of sounds like crust, right? So wonderful. All right, guys, so here's all of our chaffles so far, and I'm thinking I'm gonna be able to cut straight down the middle and then into thirds. So it looks like that will work. And if it doesn't, then I'll make some edit and final notes in the recipe. Next, what we're gonna do is gonna start layering with provolone cheese. And this is just deli provolone cheese. And I'm gonna do 4 and spread them out. And then we're gonna get our meat mixture. The meat mixture, you can see my mess back in there, but sorry about that. So here's our delicious meat mixture. We're going to layer this on. So there's that. We're gonna layer with more cheese. I think this looks like it's ready to go in the oven. So I've got my oven preheated to 350, and we are just gonna keep our eye on this. I think it's gonna probably take maybe about 20 minutes, and then we're done, and it's gonna be ready to serve. All right, guys, here is the casserole out of the oven. I heated it through for about 20 minutes, and you can see all our lovely melted cheese. So the moment of the true test, we're gonna cut into it and see how it comes out. And I have Ed, who will be here soon. He's gonna be my taste tester, and we're gonna see. I already know I love it because I've been tasting it the whole time I've been making it. So yeah, so let's get this served up, and we'll see what he thinks when he gets home. All right, so if you guys remember, I have a plate here for Ed to taste. Now, if you remember how I laid the chaffles down, I have sliced down the middle, and then I have 3 sections that I can cut. 1, 2, or yeah, 2 sections like that. And I should be able to get a good, you know, pretty scoop out, but that's gonna be our test. So let's see how it goes. Okay, I wish I had it turned around a little bit more. Okay, so here's what we're seeing so far. Now, I think I needed to let it heat up even a little bit more. But there's our beautiful piece. It kind of is slipping off, but you can see all the yummy layers. You can see the chaffle layers, the meat layers. That looks pretty delicious. So I'm gonna save this plate for Ed, and we'll let him taste it, and I'll let you guys see what he thinks. You guys, this chaffle toast on the top of this casserole, OMG, it tastes absolutely amazing. I'm gonna put a piece right on top of Ed's sample so he can taste this. Tastes just like a piece of bread toast with cheese on it. Oh my gosh, so good. Guys, here is my plate. And this is gonna be my Instagram picture. Isn't it beautiful? Oh my God, I'm really happy. Can you see all the layers and this beautiful piece of chaffle toast on the top? And I told you guys I would give you any edits or anything that I thought I would change at the end. And as far as the flavor goes, everything that I did, I feel is pretty much spot on. You could maybe make it a little bit more peppery if you want. I think the flavors are phenomenal. The only thing I would do is maybe heat it up a little bit longer so this cheese melted a little bit more. But other than that, that is it. This tastes so good. It's definitely gonna be one of my favorite meals. Okay, Ed's tasting the chaffle casserole. You wanna show us your bite? It's got steak. Is there a chaffle in there? Did you get chaffle? You got, yeah, you did. All right.
Very good.
I already ate mine.
It's good though. Very good.
There's a lot more. They just sort of cut into like a triangle slice. And that's like the piece of toast on the top. You gotta taste that.
It's very, very good. The beef came out very good. It's all very good.
The sauce that my marinade, I cooked in the meat, and it kind of gave it just the right amount of moistness and, you know, not too dry. It gave it enough so that it wasn't just a dry thing.
Not too dry. It's not dry at all. Very good. Try this. This is all very good.
All right. So approved. Any final thoughts? Suggestions?
Do it again. It all goes together very, very well. The chaffles are better than bread.
It's not just a pile of meat and cheese on a plate. It's got the bread aspect to it.
It's like a super, super good cheesesteak, not just a cheesesteak.
All right, awesome.
So I'm looking forward to having this one again.
Well, there's more over there. All right, so bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right, guys, so I want to thank you so much for coming along with me while I make this creation. It's been on my mind to make, and I finally executed my idea. Let me know, what do you think? Is this a yay or a nay? Would you make it? Would you want to make this for dinner or for prepping, meal prepping? Let me know down in the comments, what do you think of this recipe? I'm going to list all the ingredients and the recipe down in the description box. And if you do try it, please let me know. Come back and comment and let me know what you thought. And let me know if you have some other ideas, how to tweak it, how to improve it. I plan to do some more chaffle casseroles. I think they're going to be really filling and very low carb. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm going to do my best to get a carb count on this, but it's going to be depending exactly how you cut it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's kind of tricky on things like this. If you have suggestions on how to do better carb counts on recipes, please let me know. I would love to be able to provide that information, but I want it to be accurate. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you so very much for stopping by and watching this recipe. And if you like this type of thing, please let me know down in the comments. And if you're new and you're just checking this channel out, I would love it if you stick around. So hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you'll be notified when I upload. And don't forget, I have a huge playlist of chaffle recipes, and I'll put it up in the cards. You should see it on your screen. Tons of chaffle recipes if you're looking for chaffle desserts. I have tons of them, and I have tons more that are going to be coming. So stay tuned, and thank you so, so much for supporting me on my channel. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Take care.
In my eye, and it's true, so true, that my life is a she shy, is a she shy.